Fred Gleek here with Bill DeWeese once again for our weekly podcast / YouTube video. Bill, how was your week?
Greetings, Fred. Nice to see you. It was a, excuse me.
A rough one.
I am so sorry. Last week I mentioned I was sick. I actually had to go back to the doctor today. It just, to get on a stronger antibiotic. Anyhow, so I had to work through all of that this week, but my final numbers for this week, are you ready?
I am.
$4,909. So
you got to find a way to make another $100 to get to $5,000.
I know. I was scraping at the end of the day thinking, who can I talk to? But now it's, I can't complain.
Excellent. So tell me a little bit about how it went. Monday
Monday started off slow. I was a little concerned because we were coming out of, out of Easter. So I didn't know what to expect, and it was a slow day. I did a project for a car ad in Canada. I had an industrial narration for a manufacturing facility in China, and then I had a 30-second commercial for some office liquidation. But by usual, day-to-day standards, it was not a huge day. So I thought, oh no, I was mentally prepared for a slow week. It happens sometimes after a holiday.
Sure. And so now, were those, again, existing clients or new clients?
Let's see. Existing. These were all existing.
Got it. Well, that can't beat that.
No, not bad at all.
Now, I know we should probably address the fact that, this is now the second week we've spoken where you've been kind of under the weather.
Yeah.
Again, talk to us a little bit about how difficult that is and what you do to try and get sort of motor through it.
Well, it's so weird because I've just worked as if I haven't been sick. In terms of what I do, I didn't even say anything to my clients. And as we talk about what happened further in the week, you'll see I actually even picked up new clients this week. Auditioning like this, it makes me laugh. I think, can't you hear this? I can hear this. Can't you hear this? Yeah. But usually, I've been through this enough times to know that usually my clients will say, oh, I can barely tell. So I just actually, I literally acted as if nothing was wrong. I didn't say anything to anybody, and I just kept recording, and nobody ever said a thing. Nobody ever complained. Nobody said anything back. I booked new clients, even like this, so it's, hey. So I just kept working.
Any auditions in there as well?
Yeah, not for Monday, but later in the week.
Okay.
I definitely had some.
So let's move on to the next day. So
Tuesday was a big day. Let me just kind of give you a brief overview of some of the things. I did some more work for Microsoft. I've been in the midst of this a training narration for their Microsoft 365 platform. I guess it's a platform. I don't know. I did a corporate narration for another client in Europe. You're going to love this. Remember, was it last week I said that I had just fired a client?
Yes.
Meaning that, I just wasn't getting paid enough. Well, they contacted me back and said, is there anything that we can do? And so I proposed...
Rates, I'm there.
That's right. I proposed that we double the rate.
You did?
And they did. And they took it. They said, yes, let's do it.
Wow.
And so that, on Tuesday, while sounding like this, I was able to renegotiate that. It's a monthly retainer. It's not huge, but it's ongoing work. And also, within 20 minutes, I negotiated that and talked to an advertising agency in Louisville that wants to use me on an ongoing basis for some spots. And I gave myself, in that 20-minute period, an $8,400 a year raise.
Wow.
Of ongoing work on retainer. Nice. So I was really excited about that.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah. So that was
good as a Chevrolet find new roads, but it's it's getting up there.
But it's that yeah, exactly. It's that stuff that comes every day and every week, every month that so that because as you know this, you've known me for quite a while, that I never have what I call bad weeks. In other words, there's never a week where it's like, well, how am I going to pay my mortgage?
Right.
That doesn't happen because they vary, but as 3 weeks we've been doing this, as you can see, my income is incredibly consistent.
Yep.
And it's because I have a good number of clients, so it smooths out all of those bumps. But
which, again, as a lesson to those people who are listening to the podcast or watching this on YouTube, what would you say that message is? It sounds to me like, getting and retaining clients, just like in any business, is just crucial to success, huh?
It really is. And the larger the number, obviously the more money you make, but what happens also is that the more predictable the outcome or the money that you're going to get. So there's never like one huge week, one awful week, 1 week where I get nothing. It's not like that. It's just, it's gentle it's very gentle ups and downs. Now, as we continue to do this, you'll see there'll be weeks where, I'll have maybe a $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 week, and maybe a week where I'll do $3,000, $2,500, but it will never be like nothing.
Yeah. Yep. That's encouraging, I guess.
Yeah. It's almost like having a job in a way.
Yeah, it is. So talk to me about Wednesday then. What happened on Wednesday?
Just a couple other things though on Tuesday. Let me mention. I was hired to do a trailer for a book. Did some on-hold narration, some more corporate narration for another European client. I did a script that was going to be a pitch for Capital One for some project. So that was kind of cool. So anyhow,
book. Describe a little bit about what entailed.
It was a religious author, and it had to do something about the spread of the gospel in other countries outside the U.S. And so he wanted something dramatic, and he found me through VOWeekly.com, and it paid $225, but it was like about 20 seconds worth of copy maybe. So I knocked it out in a few minutes, and we were done.
As an hourly rate kind of thing, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Good.
Wednesday was busy, more safety. I did more safety training narration. I did an internal project for Philips regarding lights. I did a commercial for a golf store. Can't remember the name of the store offhand, but their big annual.
Try to do some kind of barter for products? Or?
No, I'd love to. They pay cash is good too.
Okay.
Cash allows me to maintain my golf habit. I did a commercial for an auction company that is an ongoing client. Human resources narration. I did some work for BMO, the bank, BMO Harris. Did some Canon Corporate hired me to do some work for them. They found me online.
What kind of work for Canon?
Yeah, it was like a corporate presentation. It wasn't e-learning. It was more of a, to discuss like a new product kind of thing. Okay. I auditioned for a couple of car dealerships, which was kind of fun. And then another corporate video that I was found through Voice 123.
And so, again, one of the things we may want to do in addition to finding what your weekly number is to break it down by existing clients, new clients, and clients found through paid services.
Yes, and I can give you this is not an exact number, but like for Wednesday, about 3/4 were existing, which is really consistent actually with most any other day.
And throughout the week, so for the total for the week, again, just under $5,000. What percentage of that, or what dollar amount, came in through pay to play?
Through pay to play,
just a guess.
Yeah, I bet half.
Half, really?
Yeah. And when I say through pay, meaning that at some point that client, I got the client through a pay-to-play site. And frankly, there are a lot of clients I have that came through a pay-to-play site that I'm not even aware that they did because they hired me, they contacted me directly. Many people find me, they'll do a search for a voice, they'll come across me, they'll do a Google search, but they'll find it on Voice123 or voices.com, and then they end up calling me directly. Sometimes I don't even realize that's how they found me.
Talk to me a little bit about the ethics of that as it relates to your relationship with the pay-to-play sites, especially for those people who are uninformed on how this works.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you technically owe them money?
No. The way that works from an ethical standpoint, anytime somebody finds you work, like an agent or an agency or whatever the case may be, they find it for you and then they take a percentage. And then ethically, anytime you get a job through that client again, you should give make sure that the agency that got you the work or that client continues to get their cut. With pay to play, Voice 123 does not take a portion of anything that you make to begin with. So they have no financial stake in that. Voices.com does. They take like a 10% kind of thing. So when it comes through when I'm hired directly through Voices.com, and when the client, if they contact me again through Voices.com, I always refer them back to Voices.com so that Voices.com gets their due. Okay, but if they find me through a Google search, I feel no obligation at that point.
And again, I apologize to you as well as to anybody watching or listening if this question has been asked before, but I'm curious as to, okay, so you get a job through an agent, you're working for ABC Corporation.
Yeah.
And 5 years from now, you're still working for ABC Corporation, that initial job found by the agent. Do you continue to pay the agent?
Yes.
So ad infinitum could go on.
Ad infinitum, yes.
Okay, and how I take it that Mallory just keeps track of all that stuff.
Yeah, well, honestly, it doesn't happen all that. Usually what happens is the client will contact the agency again. Occasionally they don't, and I'll ask them to.
Yeah.
And I'll say, please call. Now, if you're out of contract, let's say your contract expires, and there's probably a provision in the contract that says for X number of years into the future, and then at that point, you're a free agent. But it doesn't happen that frequently that it's a big deal to track. It hasn't been an issue yet. Okay,
good. Well, proceed with the rest of the week. What are we up to, Thursday now?
Thursday, yeah. Let's see. Did an explainer video. I auditioned and won an audition for Lego. Excuse me, so sorry. It was a big corporate rah-rah thing to say. It was talking about, it was a division of Lego. It was a toy targeted to young boys. And it was to say, hey, look how great we've done this year. And next 2016 is even going to be better. And I got that through an agent in Europe.
Nice.
So that was kind of fun.
Lego movie, by the way, one of the best of last year.
So I've been told. I haven't actually watched it yet.
Now that you have the grandkids, too.
Well, yeah. I try to keep up, but, there's only so much I can do. I did a narration for an Albert Einstein museum exhibit, which that was kind of fun. It was a lighthearted kind of look at Albert Einstein. I did training for an airline where they train their onboard crew. And then I did another explainer video. That was Thursday.
By the way, just to interject my personal trauma going on with the folks from Focusrite, I got to say that if you deal with them as a group, they were very, very good about their customer service. They walked me through, I don't know if I told the story, but I got back on the phone with them, went through things. We determined that this was a hardware problem. They said, okay, we're going to swap out the equipment. That was on Friday, and they didn't get me my email or whatever until the next day. So now they're sending me out a new kit, equipment kit that includes the audio device, whatever the heck it is, what that terminology is, along with the headphones and the mic. So I'm waiting to get that, but they did give me a return authorization, so it's completely free. They're swapping out the equipment. My only fear now is that I get that new equipment and that doesn't work, because then I'm really going to be annoyed, because I just think that this is probably some of the stuff that shuts people down from proceeding is some of the technical aspects that they can't get straight. Do you remember when you first got started, if it was this one in the neck?
It was a pain. I remember being a big pain. But here's the thing. I enjoy dabbling with that.
And troubleshooting.
I do. Okay. I've always enjoyed messing around with computers and equipment and updating drivers and all that stupid stuff.
Well, I must say, I saw you frustrated with your ISDN line at one point.
Yeah, that's a different category. That's not a computer issue. That's just stupid telephone company stuff. I hate that. I hate it. And
we should say to people, you still have the ISDN? No, you don't.
No, it's done. No, because once I moved, literally I moved 5 miles from where I lived.
Right.
So AT&T, in their effort to phase out ISDN or discourage use of it, they said they were no longer offering residential ISDN service, which I had before.
Right.
Which I paid $45 a month for. But so if I wanted it, I would have to pay $400 a month. And I checked with some of my clients that I use ISDN with, and they said, you know what, we're flexible. We can work around it. So I thought, who cares?
Excellent. Okay, good. So proceed with the week. Anything you got?
Okay, yeah. And then today I did a few projects. I did some food safety training for an existing client, some more software training, some more promos for New Mexico PBS, which is an ongoing. I'm on a weekly retainer with them. And then also I did, I was contacted to do prospective jobs for Dairy Queen and Purina, which I recorded demos for today, and I just haven't heard back to finalize that. But they contacted me directly, so I have a really good likelihood of getting those. And I also nailed down, here at the end of the day, a new client. I'll be an ongoing voice for a car dealership in Alabama for TV and radio.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was nice.
And so I guess one of the learning point that we've stressed last week and this week What do you suggest, again, that people do when they sound to themselves like they're under the weather? Should they go to the client or say nothing about it? What do you think?
I would recommend going to the client, and I usually have, but I've done it. I've had most of my clients for so many years now, and I've done it for so long that I pretty much know the response, so I felt comfortable taking a chance.
Yeah.
And so I did, but this is the first time I've actually done that. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. They know me well enough that they can contact me and say, hey, this sucks. Do it again next week.
Hey, so I know that, and again, this is going to go maybe a little bit shorter than what we normally do, just because I know you feel really crappy and want to crawl into bed and drink a lot of fluids. So is there anything else that you want to finish up with before we send people on their way?
The only thing, let me just reiterate the point that if you want to make a consistent income, you really have to think in terms of numbers. 1 or 2 clients won't do it. It's like managing a portfolio. You need a lot of stocks in there.
Yep.
And it will smooth out the bumps, and it will make your income very predictable. Easier said than done. I know it takes some time to do that, but always have your eye on that as a long-term goal.
Yes, and then also one of the things is that you're always looking for that occasional bluebird or whatever you want to call it, that some big job like the Chevrolet ad comes in or one of your agents, you finally land one of the big clients. Huh?
Then that becomes a cherry on the sundae.
Right.
But if you're living for those, that's a hard way to make a living. But
I would agree. Yeah. So kind of the bonus.
Yeah. So for instance, if I had landed one of those jobs this week, well, that turns a $5,000 week into a $10,000 or $15,000. Great. But if I don't get it, no big thing.
Yeah. Just keep soldiering on.
That's right. Exactly.
Good. Well, Bill, thanks a lot for your
Thanks,
time.
Fred.
I'm feeling too good. And folks, thanks for listening on the podcast or watching on the YouTube channel. Fred Gleek here with Bill DeWeese. Thank you very much.